There's a lot going on this week, so let's bring in Stephen Henderson of WDET Radio and Nolan Finley of the Detroit News for some perspective on the headlines this week. Hey guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I think we should do a show at the Coney all the time.
Sure. We're going to have lunch here, that's for sure.
I'm having lunch here.
Exactly.
I'm checking out the menu now. I am getting the Milton Special.
Oh, you are?
Do you hear the
know
sizzling,
what- I don't know
you
what
hear the
that
sizzling
is.
going on?
Yeah. I don't know what the Milton Special is, but I got to have it.
Hey, so I wanted to check in with you guys about, it seems to have been a little quiet on the front for all the money for the roads and where Governor Whitmer's proposed plan is. And I know that the Detroit News Ed Board just met with her, Nolan.
Monday of this week.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't sense much movement. I mean, she said she had not had a chance yet to sit down with the legislative leaders in any serious way to negotiate this and to bargain this out. But there does seem to be some things out there milling about, including she had been hearing that the Republicans may propose to her, and she brought this up, a expansion of the sales tax to services to pay for roads. Now, we've tried that in the state before, and it went down. Nobody really wanted to expand the sales tax to services. She doesn't prefer that because she wants to keep road funding clean, a user tax that supports the roads. The business community is also out there pushing, tie-barring this to insurance, auto insurance reform. So you reform no fault, and the idea is if you save people $1,000 a year on their insurance policies, they'll be more amenable to a gas tax increase. I don't know if that's true or not, but she wasn't certain where she stood on no-fault insurance reform. Remember, her backers, Blue Cross Blue Shield and other insurance companies, have been opposing a lot of the no-fault reform. So, you know, she's in that pull. But I don't see any real progress yet, but they're coming up against the budget deadline.
And that's what I was going to say. So what's the timing on this, Stephen, and when will we start to see? Is this a mid-May kind of thing?
Well, the Senate now says it won't have its plan ready until the summer, which I'm not sure if that's just posturing as a way to try to put some more pressure on her for that deadline. You know, that deadline is somewhat artificial, right? I mean, the real deadline is not till the fall, but Governor Snyder was really proud of the fact that he always got it done pretty early, and I think Whitmer will be trying to match that.
She said she wanted to keep
Yeah.
that tradition because you don't want that brinksmanship at the
That's
end.
right.
You know, we're going to shut
That's
it
right.
down.
Yeah,
the big-
and then they go on for break in the summertime, and also you come back in
Well,
September, and the clock
it's-
starts
and
running
you're
rapidly.
really up
Said
too
You're
close
up
to
against
it.
she is demanding, asking that they stay in session until the budget's done, that
Well,
they don't leave in the summer.
And
they
they
should.
should. The bigger problem here, though, is that we are still talking about this in these kind of silos where we're like, well, let's figure out how to fund the roads, or let's add this service sales tax, which is an issue that's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
It's something we probably should have done a long time ago, and we wouldn't be in so much trouble financially with some other things. We've got to overhaul the entire tax system here. We don't collect off of the right things. We don't collect enough off of the things that we do collect. And that's why government is failing, not just in the roads, but also in the schools, also in infrastructure elsewhere. You've got all of these environmental problems that have now started to crop up that are going to cost a lot of money to fix. We've got to start talking about where you get the money consistently to fund government at the level that it can actually be effective.
But that's not coming this year. And first, we've got to make government efficient and effective. She still has to sell this 45-cent plan. You can't go to a legislature that's facing re-election next year, and Democrats will be making a huge push to get these Republicans out of office and ask these same Republicans to take that kind of risk on supporting a 45-cent gas hike when the public doesn't support it yet. You got to get the electorate behind it.
Well, we don't know that the public doesn't support it.
Well, we've not
people
seen
are
any
saying
evidence
that.
they do.
People are saying that, but I think until you see something that says they don't support it, you roll with the idea that there's not a better idea on the table. If Republicans have a better way to come up with $2 billion a year, God bless, put it out there, and don't wait till summer to do it.
And
frankly, that's a
I
maneuver
think you're going to
that,
see that counter proposal, and it may be an expansion of the sales tax to services. That's what we're hearing now.
That's a pretty big concession also for Republicans,
It
because they
is.
were very bitterly opposed to that
is.
when Granholm was proposing it.
But it's less noticeable for consumers than pulling up and seeing a 45-cent hike on that marquee at the gas
Yeah.
station.
Before we jump to another topic, real quick, you also talked to her about Line 5. What'd you
Line
find out?
5, yeah, I mean, you know, she campaigned on shutting it down. She seems to be coming to the recognition now that she can't shut it down because the Upper Peninsula depends on the products that moves through the line. And the tunnel is a good solution. I sense that her issue with the tunnel is that it was negotiated by Rick Snyder, and just before he left office, and it sort of took that decision away from her. Not so much the tunnel itself and the timetable. She wants a shorter timetable. I predict you're going to see a tunnel, and you're going to see that Enbridge will pay for it. It's a huge infrastructure project for the UP, a lot of jobs. It would be hard to walk away from.
Yeah.
And I predict you're going to see a shorter timetable.
As long
for
as there's
building
the protections and the inspections of the
Which
of the
is
line,
what
which
Snyder
is what's
negotiated.
right.
Yeah, Snyder was wrong to snatch that off her plate before he left office. I mean, that was a really childish move. She's the governor who's going to have to manage this going forward, so she should get to make the decision, which is a big one, about how we do this. I'm not convinced that the tunnel is the best option. It is a quote-unquote safer option, but it is not the safest option, which is to stop pumping gas and oil through that line.
And how do
there's
you
a lot
get
of
it
people.
between the peninsulas?
Well, that's another question, and
Well,
you
it's
can
a
answer
huge
that.
question.
It is, but you can answer that question. And once you decide we're not going to take the risk of an oil spill in the Great Lakes, then you have to choose from among the other options. And none of them is ideal, but none of them is quite as dangerous as
Well,
that.
I don't know. I
Well-
think putting them on tankers, putting them on rail
There's
cars,
nothing
putting
that
them
would
on
compare
trucks,
to a
that's
spill in the
dangerous.
lakes. There was nothing that would compare to a spill
Well,
in the
those
lakes.
could spill in the lakes.
Well, they can't spill in the lakes
They spill in
the way
waterways
that
that
a
lead to
pipeline
lakes.
does.
I mean, the pipeline has been safe for 60 years. And
has
you're
been lucky
taking a
for
bet
60
that you can
years.
get another 7 to 10 years out of it, put that thing in a tunnel, and now you've solved your problem.
A loss to the world of journalism here
Yeah.
in Detroit. Jonathan Woolman passed
Right.
away, who's the editor and the publisher of the Detroit
News for
Detroit
12
News.
years. A guy with a very, very distinguished journalism career.
Yeah.
He started here in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, he started in his hometown of Madison, Wisconsin, but came to Detroit
He was
as a
an
young
AP
man,
reporter
as
here,
an
right?
AP reporter in the 70s, rose to the top of AP. He was the managing director of the AP for a number of years. Then went to Denver and came to Detroit as publisher 12 years ago, and really embraced this city, embraced the Detroit News. He loved the paper, loved the town, and you know, he leaves a big void in our staff
A lot
at
of
the News.
reporters,
He was very,
yeah.
very respected in the news.
Talking about where he set the bar
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
So,
Well, one thing to say about him, he wasn't, you know, in terms of today, it's all about clicks and chasing which stories are going to get the most views. I never heard those words come out of his mouth. He was about getting the right stories in the paper, and the
pretty old school
stories.
that way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to see another one.
yeah. All right. Well, our thoughts are with his family
Thank you.
right now. All right, guys, it's good to see you.